It's sort of informal, but nonetheless very important presentation and remembrance of and recognition of services rendered to the club by players since we entered football in 1929. And a number of them are here present with us, and it's a great pleasure and privilege to speak to them and their representatives. Incidentally, today is our 2,448th competitive game since we entered the league in 1951. And so 2 weeks' time against Drogheda, perhaps, will be our 2,250th, I think, or maybe both. But anyway, we're up there with almost 2,450 games. And the people here represented and present here today participated in some of those games since 1951. And some for varying periods of time, but the theme of this whole project is that you are not forgotten. You have never been forgotten, and we wouldn't be playing out here today on the 25th of July 2010 were it not for the contribution of people who have gone before us. And we hope that our contribution here won't be forgotten, please God, in 50 years' time, when the new generation of the young people here, Pat supporters, are running the club or looking after it, and they will look back, because that's what football is about. It's really very transient, it's very temporary for many people, as life is, I suppose, but it's important that we have people who mind the club, and that's what we're trying to do. And these people represented here today and present, I'm pleased to say, they minded the club and contributed their talents and their skills, which, as I say, brings us here to this point, 2,448 games. So, without further ado, I'd like to introduce to Phil Mooney, the club president, and we're very honoured here to have Larry O'Toole, the deputy I was going to say Deputy Prime Minister, sorry. But never know. Larry O'Toole, Deputy Lord Mayor, and we're very, and our very special guest. Now, unfortunately, the moment is tinged with some sadness, because one of our great players of the past, Jimmy Timber Cummins, unfortunately his sister, Margaret Hope, died during the week, and he is unable to be present. There are also a couple of players here who will be represented by their kin, and one or two others who haven't come but would nonetheless are part of the great past that we have. But first of all, I'd like you to introduce, these are not in any order of merit or anything, these are just as I've written them down. Paddy Ginger O'Rourke. Paddy O'Rourke. Paddy was in our cup final team of 1951 in the replay. He replaced Joe Haverty. And again, an icon so far as the club is concerned, and a permanent visitor practically here in the seat down in the stand, and long may that continue. A great. Another member of the 1951-59 cup winning team was the great Harry O'Brien. Harry was marked in the programme for that year. And there's the programme, the 1959 programme, and Harry is marked in there at left full back. So the great Harry O'Brien from the was a prolific goal scorer for us again in 1959. He tells me actually he scored in the last minute of the first game against Waterford. This was a draw, and then in the first minute of the replay. So a man not to be taken lightly. The great goal scorer supreme, Johnny McGean. Another great goal scorer of a more recent era, back in the 1980s, and one particular goal he scored, I remember we were playing a friendly against Queen's Park Rangers, and this great player, this great forward, who scored 69 goals for us, which is now over roughly a 4 seasons. Absolutely prolific goal scorer, the great Jim Mahon.
A sniffer.
And Jim scored against a team from the English First Division over here, Queen's Park Rangers, in a very good game. I remember standing at the Itchy-Core end then and seeing him score. Tony Curry was a great player in that team. The team was managed by Terry Venables, a very prominent team of the then First Division. So to win here on a lovely balmy summer's evening was absolutely a thrill I'll never forget. So well done, Jim. Back in the late 1980s and 1990, we won the league in 1990, and it was started of a resurgence here for the club after a somewhat valley period. And one of the stars of the great Cares team of the 1990 and the championship winning team was the great left full, Pat Kelch.
Enough to sign again.